The story transports us thousands of years back to ancient Babylon, the wealthiest city of the ancient world. Yet, beneath the glittering veneer of grand marble palaces and the legendary hanging gardens, the vast majority of citizens live in a state of perpetual financial distress. We meet Bansir, a skilled chariot builder, and Kobe, a talented musician. Both men work tirelessly from dawn to dusk, yet their leather purses remain discouragingly flat. Frustrated by a lifetime of grinding labor with absolutely nothing to show for it, they realize that hard work alone is not the true secret to wealth. They decide to seek out Arkad, a childhood companion who has risen to become universally known as the richest man in all of Babylon. Arkad welcomes his old friends warmly and agrees to share his secrets. He explains that he was not born into privilege. He was once a poor scribe, carving clay tablets for grueling hours in the Hall of Records. His destiny changed when he made a desperate bargain with a legendary moneylender named Algamish. In exchange for a night of exhausting scribal labor, Arkad did not ask for silver coins. Instead, he demanded the master's financial wisdom. Algamish smiled and gave young Arkad a single piece of advice that changed his life forever. I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine, to keep. Arkad explains that most people pay everyone else, the grocer, the tailor, the landlord, but completely forget to pay themselves. The foundational rule Arkad introduces to his friends is simple yet revolutionary. Start thy purse to fattening. For every 10 coins you put into your purse, take out only 9 to spend on your daily desires. That crucial 10th coin belongs strictly to you and must be locked away, never to be used for living expenses. Arkad teaches that wealth is like a mighty tree that grows from a tiny seed, and the very first copper coin you save is that seed. By paying yourself first, you force your money to become your servant. This creates an army of golden soldiers that will labor for your financial freedom, compounding over time until you achieve absolute security. Years pass, and Arkad's incredible financial wisdom catches the attention of King Sargon. The monarch is deeply concerned because Babylon, despite its grand history, is falling into economic ruin. A select few have gathered all the wealth, while the majority of citizens do not know how to manage their money. To fix this national crisis, the king asks Arkad to share his secrets with the public. Arkad agrees and gathers 100 men in the Temple of Learning, promising to reveal the 7 cures for a lean purse. These practical rules are designed to help anyone transform a flat wallet into a source of endless financial abundance. Arkad begins with the first 3 foundational cures which establish absolute control over personal cash flow. The first cure expands on his original rule. Start thy purse to fattening by saving at least 10% of everything you make. The second cure is to control thy expenditures. Arkad emphasizes that our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless we actively protest. He tells the students to script their desires and eliminate useless spending that brings no true value. The third cure is to make thy gold multiply. Saving money in a chest is useless. You must invest your capital so that it spawns interest, and that interest spawns more interest, creating a self-sustaining fountain of wealth. The remaining 4 cures focus on protecting your assets and expanding your earning capacity. The fourth cure is to guard thy treasures from loss. You must protect your principal from risky speculative investments and always consult proven experts before handing over your money. The fifth cure is to make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Owning your own home reduces your cost of living and brings great pride. The sixth cure is to ensure a future income. You must prepare for old age and protect your family by setting up long-term investments. Finally, the seventh cure is the most important. Increase thy ability to earn. You must cultivate your mind, learn new skills, and become more valuable to the marketplace. True wealth, Arkad teaches, begins with a sharp, disciplined mind. To explain the deepest mechanics of investing, Arkad shares the story of his son Nomasir. Arkad refused to simply hand his inheritance over to an untrained heir. Instead, he gave Nomasir a bag of gold, a clay tablet carved with the 5 laws of gold, and sent him out into the world for 10 long years to prove his competence. Like many young and eager men, Nomasir ignored the wisdom on the tablet at first. He lost his entire bag of gold to slick gamblers and deceptive business partners. Facing absolute ruin and starvation, Nomasir finally wiped the dust off his father's clay tablet and began to study the laws that govern the behavior of money. The first 3 laws show how wealth flows toward discipline. The first law states that gold comes gladly and in increasing quantities to the person who puts away at least 1/10 of their earnings to create an estate for their future. The second law declares that gold labors diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds it profitable employment, multiplying like the flocks of the field. The third law emphasizes security, stating that gold clings firmly to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it only under the advice of men who are truly wise in its management. The final 2 laws serve as a harsh warning against greed and financial ignorance. The fourth law states that gold slips away from the person who invests it in businesses or purposes with which they are not familiar, or which are not approved by those who are skilled in its keeping. Finally, the fifth law warns that gold flees from the person who forces it to return impossible earnings, or who follows the alluring advice of tricksters and romantic schemers, or who trusts it to their own inexperienced and romantic desires. By applying these exact laws, Nomasir rebuilt his entire fortune from zero. He returned to Babylon a decade later, bringing back 3 bags of gold to replace the one he had lost, proving to his father that wisdom is far more valuable than physical inheritance. The final section of the book tackles a problem that plagues millions of people today: the heavy, suffocating burden of debt. To illustrate how to escape this financial trap, George Clason shares the story of Dabasir, a proud camel trader in Babylon. In his youth, Dabasir fell into a dangerous cycle of luxurious spending, buying things he could not afford to impress his peers. Soon, his debts spiraled out of control. Desperate and broke, he made the catastrophic choice to flee the city. He fell in with desert bandits, was captured, and was sold into brutal slavery. While working as a slave, a wealthy Syrian woman challenged his spirit, asking if he was a free man or a soul born to be a slave. This cutting question triggered a profound psychological awakening. Dabasir realized that his debts were a symptom of a slave mindset, and that running away from his creditors was the ultimate act of cowardice. He managed to escape, returned to Babylon on a camel, and immediately created a meticulous, mathematically precise 3-part plan to reclaim his honor, pay back his debts, and build a lasting fortune. This strategy is known as the Babylonian debt rules, a simple formula that guarantees financial freedom if followed with absolute discipline. No matter how massive your debts are, you must divide your income using a strict 70-20-10 ratio. First, exactly 70% of your income is allocated to living expenses: food, clothing, and housing. You must strictly limit your lifestyle to fit this amount. Second, exactly 20% of your income is used to pay down your debts, divided proportionally among all your creditors, until every shekel is cleared. Finally, exactly 10% must be saved to build your wealth fund, never to be spent. By applying this exact rule, Dabasir paid back every single creditor, earned the profound respect of his city, and became a highly successful merchant. George Clason's masterpiece closes with a powerful, timeless truth: where the determination is found, a way can be made. True wealth is not a matter of luck. It is a predictable reward for anyone who honors their obligations, controls their desires, and systematically pays themselves first.